Hey y'all, it's Dr. Know-It-All coming to you from my car, my Tesla Model Y, which is currently driving me to Washington, D.C. I am going to explain that at the end of the video so I don't bother all of you. But I wanted to mention a couple things about the earnings call that just happened with Elon Musk and team. There was some very exciting news. Obviously margins were not quite as strong as blah, blah, blah. Don't care about that stuff. What I care about is the future. We did definitely get a note from all of them that it was going to be kind of a down year in 2024 because we're between two major, there's like a trough. There was the Model 3, Model Y ramp and all of that. And then there's going to be the next generation vehicle ramp. And that just changed lanes on me for me. It's not on me. But anyway, there's going to be that next generation vehicle ramp that will happen we'll talk about that in just a second, but right now we're in kind of a lull. 2023, 2024, and also, of course, interest rates being high, all of that stuff has depressed things a little bit. So, a little more cautious than things have been in the past, and that's totally fine. I totally understand that. So, so that's number one, but number two, and very related to that, is that I believe it was Michael. He asked a bunch of really good questions. Retail investors always ask the better questions, and he asked, when next gen vehicle, when Model 2, and Elon was very forthcoming. I was actually a little bit surprised about that. I thought that he was going to say, can't tell you, forward-looking statement, blah, blah, blah. But he said, I am an optimist, forgive me because I'm going to be optimistic about this, but the schedule right now says the end of 2025. So if you're expecting it this year, not going to happen. But we're looking at 18 to 24 months-ish if it is on schedule for production, and it will come out of Texas first, then Mexico, and then they said it would come out of some other non-North American location, because that makes sense because you want to produce it in China or wherever, so that you can have global distribution. So I have a feeling he's playing it a little bit close to the vest here. I have a feeling that they probably know a little bit more than that. They probably know what the next place is, maybe deeper into the process than they wanted. But the big thing he was talking about, as we have heard, is that the vehicle itself, it's not so much about the vehicle, it's about how they're manufacturing it. And he repeated again, it's going to blow your mind. This is something that nobody's seen before. It is that sort of unboxed process. I mean, they already told us at Shareholder Day or Investor Day, whatever day that was, that that back in March? Gosh, I can't even remember anymore. It might have been as far back as March now. But anyway, they explained it was going to be the unboxed process, and it was going to have all of this stuff split apart and all that, which is interesting. But that entails a whole bunch of new technology. He says that basically they're having to invent the factory line as they go. So it's much more about the factory with the next generation vehicle than about the vehicle. It sounds like the vehicle itself is pretty well designed at this point. Now, if we take what Franz said about the Cybertruck, and by the way, Franz is going to the Tesla takeover along with Jared Isaacman in Tesla Owner Silicon Valley takeover next summer. That's very exciting news. But anyway, he said that, the truck itself, the design, the final design of it, was done in conjunction with designing the factory. So the design of the next generation vehicle is not finalized because clearly if they decide, if we do it this way and make this tweak, we can build it faster, then they will obviously do something like that. So I wouldn't say it's completely done, but I would say it's probably 90% done. They know what it looks like in general. They know approximately what the components are, the specs, all of that kind of stuff. So all of that's very, very cool. But that also raises up the next question, which was that I believe it was Michael again, who asked about Optimus and said, when are we going to see Optimus created at scale? And Elon said, his response, unfortunately, is one of those unclear responses where he said, I think we will see it next year. And does he mean 2024 or 2025? My kind of gut tells me that he was talking about 2024. And by saying next year, he was talking about 2024. But it is quite possible that what he was actually referring to was 2025 instead. Don't know. So anyway, so it was unfortunately not as clear as it could have been. But he did say that every couple of months they would be updating us. Hopefully we will get to see something like an AI Day 2024, I don't know, AI Day 3, something like that. Hopefully we will get to participate in something like that this year, and we will find out much more information about Optimus and get more details and stuff. But in the meantime, Optimus folding clothes, the 4K resolution picture of Optimus being able to transfer an egg back and forth between his hands, all of that kind of stuff is really, really incredible. What it can do and how quickly it's doing it, and you can see Tesla deciding to kind of keep us posted every month, every few weeks, whatever it is, but just definitely keeping us posted about Optimus. So I'm going to hold out that when he said next year, what he actually meant was 2024, but it is possible he meant next year as in 2025. So, if it was like May and he said next year, then it would be 2025. And if it was December of 2023 and he said next year, it'd be 2024. But right now we're in January, which is always that weird place where it's like, could be this year, could be next year. So we don't know exactly. And then the last thing that I really wanted to touch on was very interesting. Somebody asked about full self-driving and whether other auto manufacturers have come to Tesla and said, we would like to, license your full self-driving. And Elon said that they have had some tentative talks with other OEMs. He didn't identify who, obviously. I don't think he would do that until it's an inked deal. But he said, we've been in talks with a few other ones, but it's been tentative. And he said, frankly, I don't think they believe that it is what it is. And that comes on the heels of Elon at the beginning of the earnings call talking about how full self-driving has gone out to customers at this point. Just a few, right? Just like Homar's catalog and a few other people at this point. But that it will be rolling out, he said, over the next several weeks to basically over everybody, 400,000 potential customers of full self-driving. So that is a huge thing. And if that actually happens and if it rolls out relatively quickly because they're satisfied with how rapidly it's working. So right now it's 12.1.2. So let's say 12.1.3 comes out, 12.1.4 comes out, and there's some corrections. That would be hopefully what we would see as a 12.1.3 or 1.4 or something like that we would all get as the more general beta testers that are out there. It could also be that it's going to wait for a 12.2 release and that there's more, there's bigger fish to fry and they'll have to take more time to figure out all of that stuff. But in any case, him saying weeks, not months, is a really, really good sign in my mind. I think that's very, very exciting to hear about that. And I, for one, am incredibly excited. I wish I could have been driving it today because it's 600 miles where I'm going, almost 585 or something like that. But anyway, it's a chunk of distance. So anyway, a lot of really cool stuff, a lot of very interesting forward-looking things. Again, Tesla is an AI robotics company. Elon even said that. He's like, we're a robotics company. We've been making robots forever. It's just that these robots have had 4 wheels up until now, and now they're getting 2 legs and they're more identifiable as robots. And I completely agree with that, though. So I think that's just amazing. So anyway, very exciting news. Whether or not it's going to be probably 2024, won't be a 50% compound annual growth rate. You got the Cybertruck ramping. That's not going to ramp as fast. Interestingly enough, one other tidbit about that was that they have multiple weeks of supply of the 4680 batteries. So they are ahead of the ramp in terms of the Cybertruck. And they said, I can't remember if it was Martin or somebody said that the plan is to stay ahead of the Cybertruck ramp, and so to always have a few weeks supply of the 4680s. So that's actually very, very good to hear. So anyway, overall, I have a feeling Wall Street is going to hate it and stock's going to go down. Maybe I'll buy a few shares like tomorrow or something like that if I can. But anyway, so that's what I've got for that. So if that's all you're interested in, you can turn off now. Personal story here. I didn't want to do a whole separate episode because I didn't want to depress people, but the reason I am driving to Northern Virginia, just outside of Washington, D.C., is because my father is, this is pretty much the end, and nobody knows exactly when, but it's going to be relatively soon. So I wanted you all to know that over the next days, weeks, a month, who knows exactly how long, I will be displaced. I'll be traveling, and I might be a little scattered, and I might produce a bunch of videos. I might produce none for a while. So I just want you all to understand that's where this is coming from. And yeah, it's been a really, really tough drive. Sorry to be doing this after dark, but of course the sun is already set here, and I got a couple of lights. That's the best I can do for you right here. But anyway, so there's that. And just one other final thing, I've got the new DJI Mic 2 instead of Mic 1, so I would be curious what you all think about the sound quality of this microphone. Hopefully it's a thumbs up from you guys and sounds better. And anyway, it's got 32-bit float recording internal to the mic, but not into the phone. So, but it's supposed to have better noise canceling. Anyway, let me know about that stuff. But also, thank you so much. You know, if anybody, if you have good thoughts, prayers, whatever, for my dad. He was a religious studies professor for his entire professional career, was also an Episcopalian minister, or priest, I guess you would say, as Episcopalian. And, you know, I guess it's time for him to go to the other side. So that's what we're doing. So my brother is flying out tomorrow night. My sister lives there, so we're all going to be together, and we will hopefully, you know, have a moment to commune together. So anyway, thank you for understanding if things are a little bit chaotic the next few weeks. So, all right, I will talk to you all later. Have a great night, and yep, I'll see you. Bye-bye.